a whole new world, a fresh start. I was here on a scholarship, a chance I worked so hard for. And as a hopeless romantic introvert, I knew this was my time to shine. Well, maybe shine is too much of a stretch, but at least survive, right? But the truth was, I was feeling a little scared. I mean, who wouldn't? It's high school. You walk into a new place, and suddenly everything is unfamiliar. Everyone seems so much cooler, so much more together than you are. And as someone who would rather read a book than talk to strangers, the first day of school is always a mix of excitement and total terror. But there was this one thought that kept running through my head. Will I make any friends here? Or maybe just maybe find love. Okay, that last part. Totally over the top. I was here to focus on my studies. Not to be swept off my feet by some boy. I quickly checked that thought off. I had a lot of studying to do to stay here. A boy, theft, totally not on my radar. So as I started walking toward the entrance, I spotted a small group of freshmen gathered near the gate, waiting for the campus tour to start. They looked like they had everything figured out. Everyone had their group of friends chatting and laughing. Me, I was the odd one out, but hey, I wasn't going to let that ruin my first day. As we walked through the school's hallways, I was amazed. The place was gorgeous, the bamboo trees swaying in the breeze, flowers lining the paths, and the air was so crisp, so clean, it felt like something out of a movie. Seriously, I was half expecting a magical fairy to pop up and say, "Welcome to your new life." But even though everything around me was perfect, I felt like I had an invisible cloud hanging over my head. Until something caught my eye. A squirrel. Yes, a squirrel. But wait for it. This wasn't just any ordinary squirrel. This little guy was wearing a hoodie. What? A squirrel in a hoodie? I mean, where do you even buy a hoodie that tiny? I was literally so distracted by this that I blinked. And when I opened my eyes again, the entire tour group was gone. Oh my God, where did they go? I frantically looked around, but there was no sign of my group. My first day at MSU, and I was already lost. Perfect. I started to panic. This was so embarrassing. What was I going to do? Just stand here like a lost puppy?
And that's when I heard it. A smooth voice from behind me. Need some help? You look a little lost.
I turned around, and there he was. The most beautiful guy I had ever seen in my life. He was tall, with perfect hair that looked like it belonged in a shampoo commercial. His smile could light up the entire world. He was like a dream. I swear, for a second, I thought I was going to pass out.
Are you okay? He asked, his voice full of concern.
I just stared at him, my brain completely blank. Was I floating? Before I could completely lose it and fall face first into the ground, his arm shot out and steadied me by the waist. Oh, I'm fine. I'm so sorry. I was with the tour group, and we were headed to the auditorium, but I got distracted and now? I lost them. I was totally failing at this whole talk to cute guys thing. But he didn't seem to mind. Instead, he just smiled that smile of his, the kind that makes your heart stop. Well, the auditorium's this way.
I can walk you there, if you'd like, he said, casually, like he was offering me a cup of tea.
I followed him like a lost little kitten, my brain still trying to catch up with reality. Is this a dream? I couldn't believe this was my first day. A cute guy was helping me. Was this fate? Was he going to be my first love, my first boyfriend? Maybe even my future husband, but no. Focus, Candy, focus. When we reached the auditorium, he turned to me.
You, go. The freshman orientation is about to start. Thank you so much, I said, still in a daze. He smiled again. No problem. I'm happy to help anytime. Then, to my surprise, he reached into his pocket and pulled out something small. A little good luck for your first day?
It was a piece of candy. I stared at it for a long moment, like it was some kind of precious gem. A candy. I smiled, trying to act normal. Thanks, ... This looks sweet, but in my mind, I was already planning to keep it forever. Maybe build a shrine for it. As I stood there holding it, I felt like my world had just shifted. I watched him leave, my heart still fluttering in my chest. I should have asked for his name. I should have said something more, anything more, but ... he was already gone. And I was left standing there, holding a piece of candy like it was the most important thing in the world. Maybe it was silly, but in that moment, it felt like the universe had just given me a little sign. My first day at MSU wasn't going to be just about school. Maybe it was the start of something much bigger. Later that day, as I walked into my homeroom class, I sat down at the back of the room. I glanced at the girl sitting next to me. She was beautiful, confident, and had a look in her eyes like she was already judging me. And trust me, I could feel those judgmental vibes from a mile away. She didn't say a word, but kept glaring at me all through the class. What's her deal? Did I steal her seat? Did I do something wrong? I felt the weight of her stare all through lunch too. Finally, I snuck away to the cafeteria to find a quiet corner to eat, hoping she'd forget I existed. But then, someone slammed a tray down in front of me. I looked up, and to my shock, it was her, the girl who'd been glaring at me all day. The weekend after that moment with Drew felt like a lifetime. I couldn't stop thinking about him, that smile, the way he helped me when I was lost, the candy ... I mean, who gives a piece of candy on the first day of school? It was too sweet. I spent hours replaying everything in my head. Maybe it was silly, but that candy? I kept it in my wallet. It was my little reminder of him. It wasn't until Monday morning that I saw him again. The first thing I did when I stepped onto campus was glance over my shoulder. I had to know, was it just a random, fleeting encounter? Or was there something more to it? And then I saw him. There he was, Drew, walking toward me, as if fate had decided we were supposed to cross paths again. My heart leapt into my throat. I tried to act normal, but I was pretty sure I was walking like a penguin with a limp. I mean, how do you not freak out when the guy you've been obsessing over for days is right there? I felt his footsteps coming closer and closer. My heart raced so fast, I thought it might actually pop out of my chest. He was so close now. I could feel the air around him. And then, just as we were about to pass each other, he did something that made my knees buckle. He stopped and turned. Hey, he said, his voice calm, like he hadn't just turned my whole world upside down. I see you're heading into the building too. I blinked, wondering if I was dreaming. I mean, was this real life, UH? Yeah, I'm heading to class, I managed to say, mentally kicking myself for sounding so lame. Cool, he said, smiling. That smile, I'll walk with you. For a second, I thought I might pass out. But instead, I just nodded like a complete idiot and we started walking side by side, my heart doing somersaults. The walk felt like it lasted forever, but it was the best forever of my life. We talked about random things, the classes we were taking, the weird food in the cafeteria, even the fact that we both hated math. I felt comfortable with him, like we'd known each other for years. It was weird, but in the best way possible. He made me laugh, which was a first for me. I mean, I'm not exactly the easiest person to impress, but Drew. He had this effortless charm that made everything feel light and easy. By the time we reached our classrooms, I felt like I was floating. Maybe this was it. Maybe this was the start of something real. And then, bam, reality hit me like a truck. I walked into class with Drew, and guess who was sitting there? Trixie. She was sitting at the front, as usual, flipping her hair like she owned the place. And when she saw me walk in with Drew, her eyes widened and I could practically see the wheels turning in her head. Now, let's be clear, I wasn't jealous. But I was starting to feel something shift, something uncomfortable. Trixie was my best friend. She'd been the one to drag me out of my shell. The one who always told me I could be more than just the quiet, bookish girl in the corner. And now, I felt like everything between us was shifting. And I didn't know why. After class, Trixie pulled me aside. Her usual cheerful self seemed different. She had this strange look in her eyes, one I couldn't quite read. "Girl, you are so lucky," she said, grinning. "Drew is the definition of hotness, and you're walking in with him like it's no big deal." Wait, what? She liked Drew too. I didn't even know what to say. I mean, I had always thought Trixie was well, Trixie. You know, the girl who could literally talk to anyone, but who was never really interested in anyone for long. She always told me that boys were just for fun. But Drew felt different. I glanced at her. "What do you mean? It's just We're just walking to class." I don't, but she interrupted me, her smile turning mischievous. "Oh, don't worry. I'm not here to steal your guy. I'm just saying that boy is cute, but he's not the only cute guy on campus. I bet there's more where that came from." I didn't know what to say. Was she jealous, or was this just another one of her games? Then later that afternoon, I saw him again, Drew, but this time something was off. He was talking to Cass, the gorgeous, effortlessly classy girl who always seemed to have a crowd around her. Drew was laughing at something she said, and for a second, my stomach did this little flip. I mean, sure, we weren't dating or anything, but I couldn't help the way my heart sank. And then, just as quickly as he'd appeared, he was gone again, leaving me standing there, trying to make sense of what just happened. I tried to push it out of my mind. I mean, I wasn't in a relationship with Drew, right? We were just two people walking to class, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something more was happening, something I didn't understand. Later that evening, Trixie sent me a message, "I heard Drew was hanging out with Cass. Is that gonna be a problem for you?" Was she testing me? I couldn't figure it out. I didn't even know how to respond. Part of me wanted to scream, "No, it's not a problem," but the other part, the part that had been holding on to that candy and replaying every word Drew had said to me, that part felt a little more complicated. I spent the rest of the night thinking about it. Was I just imagining things, or was there something between me and Drew? Something more than a random encounter. And what did Trixie really mean by her message? The next morning, I arrived early to class, hoping to clear my mind. But as I sat down at my desk, I noticed something weird. Drew walked in, and right behind him was none other than Trixie. And there, between them, was something I hadn't expected, a knowing glance, a smile. And for a second, I thought I might actually choke on my own heart. Was there something more going on between them that I didn't know? I could feel my world spinning again, to be continued.